Thank you to all of our sponsors for making our Computex 2023 coverage possible. Hey guys, it's Andy. We're at Computex 2023 and we are with FSP, and I want to talk to you firstly about their new case. Not the first time they've done cases, but this one has really actually got me excited. This is the Cut 593. As you can see, we've actually given it the Best of Computex 2023 award. That's how good we actually think it is. Now, the cool thing about this is it has got a magnetic filter on the front, which is like a nylon mesh. They have got some other ones as well, which we will overlay some B-rolls so you can see kind of what that's about. One is more maybe like metal, solid, the other one's more like a fabric, but it just gives you a little bit of choice. Now, this case does come in black and white. They are going to have two versions, a standard and a premium one. With the premium, you do get glass on the side, so on both sides, as well as the direct cables that can plug straight into an FSP power supply, as well as having all the combs and everything on there. So yeah, it just looks really, really nice, especially with that glass on the side. You get kind of the full view of the cables. Again, we're overlaying some B-roll. It does look absolutely amazing. Now, in the case, you do get 3 pre-installed RGB fans in the front. You also get another one in the rear, but it doesn't really stop there. FSP have gone quite crazy when it comes to airflow, performance, and what's actually sort of available. Now, you can have the 3 fans in the front, 1 in the rear, all pre-installed, but then you can put another 3 at the bottom, you can put 6 at the top, and then there's also a side bit where you can put another 2. So in total, if my maths is any good, 15 fans in total. I mean, even with the standard, just 3 fans in the front and 1 in the rear, you can feel the amount of airflow this is pushing out. So I'm really actually interested to get this into our offices, and then we can actually look at, you know, seeing what the performance is like ourselves. Now, when it comes to graphics cards, you can fit the largest graphics cards on the market in here. So talking, you know, Asus Strix 4090s, I think it's up to like 400mm. But they have also done something really interesting. Instead of just having 7 expansion slots and then having the ability to change it if you want it vertically, they've got the 7 there, but then they've also got 3 for vertical. So you get a little bit more customization, a little bit more flexibility as to what you want to do inside this system to make it your own. Yeah, really, really cool design. It's going to be very, very aggressively priced, and I think it's going to do really, really well. But there's a lot more products I want to talk to you about, including power supplies, which is obviously what FSP are famous for, but also CPU coolers. So let's go look at them. Okay, so let's talk about cooling. So what have we got over here? We have an air cooler. Now, I get it, a lot of brands like to release air coolers, but FSP are going a little bit different because they're trying to take on the big guns, right? They're trying to take on Be Quiet with a Dartrock Pro 4, and more importantly, Noctua with a D15, which we all know is kind of, you know, the halo product when it comes to the air cooling market. What we actually have here, though, is a product that is the smallest in its kind of segment. So it is taking on, like I say, the likes from Be Quiet and Noctua, but it is a lot smaller. So we have 2 fans on here, one is 120, one is 140. They are saying that performance is very, very close to kind of, you know, them products that they're aiming to get to. So we are looking around a Q4 release purely because they want to tweak things a little bit better, want to get that performance up. And, you know, it's like with FSP, they are going to want to come in that little bit cheaper as well, just to undercut the likes of Noctua and Be Quiet. Now, one really cool thing about it is when you want to mount it to your hardware, so to your CPU bracket, you don't actually have to take the fan off. You can just slide the screwdriver in. There's kind of a little groove going all the way down the heatsink, and that will allow you to install it without taking the fan off, especially when it's inside your system. It can sometimes be a little bit fiddly. This just kind of gets around that. Now, if you don't want to go air cooler, then you can obviously go AIO. And they've got 3 models here. So we have got the 24 or 240mm, the 360mm, and the 420. It's nice to see that they're, you know, not going for something smaller like a 120mm, obviously with Intel processors now being, you know, even hotter. They are full on RGB. Dual chamber pump design, and these I think are going to be coming out around the same time as the air cooler. Yeah, sort of Q4 this year. So some really cool stuff, you know, having something for everyone with an air cooler or an AIO, depending on what you want. Obviously with this, all the fan cables and everything are all hidden. Looks really, really nice. Nice RGB, FSP logo on there, which has had a slight change up as well. That's RGB, can be controlled through your motherboard software. Away you go. Now, power supplies. This has been something that I've never really understood with FSP because they have the Hydro range, okay? Hydro's always been a bit of a weird naming structure, at least for me, and I think a lot of people would agree. especially when it has nothing to do with custom loop or water cooling or anything like that. So what FSP have done now is they have changed things up a little bit. So now they've got a whole new line of power supplies coming out next year, 2024. So we have the Vita range, we've got the BD, the GM, the Advan range, and the Mega. Now, these are all ATX 3.0 compliant. They all come with a PCI Express 5.0 connector. They are, these ones, at least these three, are fully modular. They have got 80 plus bronze on this one, 80 plus gold on this, 80 plus gold and 80 plus gold. They are extremely small form factor, especially when you take into consideration the wattages as well. So we have an 850, I believe there's a couple of other models below that. We've got 1,000 watt on this one, 1,000 watt on this one, 1,000 watt on this one. Full Japanese capacitors, everything you'd expect when it comes to the quality that FSP have been bringing to their products over all these years. Now, sticking sort of back with products, I guess, you know, with the Hydro range and everything as well, they have got some other products over here. So we have got this beast here. Now this is called the Canon Pro, okay? It's 80 plus platinum. It is 2,500 watts in an ATX form factor. So they have managed to, I know it looks big, but they have managed to shrink it down considering how much power is in this. Again, fully modular. There's PCI Express 5.0 on there as standard. ATX 3.0, everything you'd expect. This is the big boy. This is going to be great for people who are, because we all know SLI isn't like a thing anymore, but we all know that with content creation, you can still use multiple graphics cards. So you could have two 4090s quite easily powered off this single power supply. You know, going to be great for us because that's what we do all day, every day. Content creation, rendering, we use 6K and 12K cameras. You know, we'll be able to build a mega kind of workstation-based rendering system. Now, if you want to go a little bit smaller, we have the complete opposite. We have this little cute thing. This is called the Dagger Pro L. So, as the name suggests, with L, it's SFXL, and this is 80 plus platinum, ATX 3.0 again, PCI Express 5.0 connector, and is a astonishing 1,200 watts. So you've got a lot of power in a very, very small form factor. Again, you could build a small form factor system with, you know, one of the high-end Intel or AMD processors. You know, especially now we do have cases that can accept larger graphics cards. You're going to be able to get all that stuff into a really small system and power it off this little thing. Now, there is one other thing I want to talk about, which is just over there, so we'll go over and talk about that because it's something we've seen before, maybe not so much in the wild, but it's really worth talking about. Okay, so what we have here, and we have seen, I guess, you know, a few things out in the wild when it comes to 12VO. So this is where your power supply actually goes straight into the motherboard and then everything kind of connects off of that. Okay, so what we have here, as you can see, is a slight change up on the motherboard. So we have connectors over here and then we have the SATA power connectors here. Just makes cable management, you know, a lot easier. The fact that we can just go straight into the motherboard and then your SSDs and other devices can come off of the motherboard instead of coming directly from the power supply. It's, I guess, still a generally new concept. We did see, I guess, the first things being, you know, announced with this maybe a year ago or so that we did actually start seeing these designs, but now we're starting to see it actually, you know, come to fruition. So they've teamed up with Intel. They have this NUC-based system here. It's got the FSP Dagger Pro 12VO 750 watt power supply in there with the NUC 13 Extreme. So we're actually running an i9 13900K off of this system in a small form factor. It's got a 4070 Ti in here, and everything, as I say, goes from the power supply to the motherboard and then off of the motherboard to all of your other devices like SSDs. You know, I actually really welcome this. It's something a little bit different, something a little bit newer. It's just nice to see, you know, there is still innovation in the market, and it'd be interesting to see kind of where this goes next and what kind of applications it can be used in. That about wraps it up for the FSP booth at Computex 2023. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more Computex 2023 coverage, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.